Hey everybody, it's Rainbow Ramblings. How you doing? I want to start this video by saying I'm a U.S. citizen with the right to free speech, and I'm going to be addressing the District Attorney Ann Kelly, Judge Amanda Hopkins, Barry Morphew, his daughters Macy and Mallory, who all fit the definition of public figures. As public figures, I can question, speculate, analyze, form opinions, challenge their words and their behaviors without being accused of slander. So I'm going to state very clearly and very plainly my position, and over the next few days I'm going to give you hard copy proof in the form of documents posted on my webpage, including Colorado law, legal definitions, court filings, etc., that bolster my claim. My heartfelt suspicion, my hardcore opinion, is that there's not going to be justice in the trial of Barry Morphew because the fix is in. I suspect that Barry Morphew may have bribed Judge Amanda Hopkins, and the whole thing is going to go in the ditch. So, the first part of my thesis, I'm going to tell you all of the things that Judge Amanda Hopkins knew about the investigation of Barry Morphew from the previous case, the laws he violated, and the surveillance from the state of Arizona over a period of months before he was arrested and extradited. What documentation from law enforcement she had. And she had no damn business letting Barry Morphew out of jail. She had no damn business leaving him out of jail when he violated his bond conditions by not turning in his GPS tracking report. She was derelict in her duty when Barry Morphew contrived with his daughters to obtain the bones of Suzanne to cremate them in order to obstruct justice and tamper with evidence. She did nothing about that either. So the first section is going to be what she knew, what she did, and why I think that's damn suspicious, and why she's acting clearly in favor of Barry Morphew and totally ignoring the state and their case. My second set of facts and information, I'm going to go over the 31, not all of them, but the basic content of the 31 filings that Barry Morphew put on the record to challenge what could be held in evidence, who could be questioned, who could testify, what's to be limited, etc. And all of those things are to suppress Suzanne's voice, to suppress evidence, and to make such a stranglehold on information that can be set forth at trial that no jury could come up with enough information and enough evidence to convict Barry Morphew. Now, there's going to be motions hearings starting the week of July 6th. It's going to be very telling what Judge Amanda Hopkins is going to rule on those 31 motions and what the state objected to and what their position is. And I'm going to watch very carefully, as I'm sure most of us are, all of us are, to see if she's going to rule largely in favor of Barry Morphew, which would be more evidence that she's in his pocket, in my opinion, or if she's going to rule in favor of the state. Now, Judge Amanda Hopkins, I want to remind you that your function as a judge isn't to favor the defendant or his daughters that you feel such a soft spot for. You're to be a trier of fact. You're to apply the law to the facts. You're to be an independent, neutral, non-biased witness. And you're to make sure the trial is conducted according to the law. I think you're failing in that regard, in my opinion, to date. Now, you took an oath of office to uphold the United States Constitution, the Colorado Constitution. You have a code of ethics as a lawyer that you're to adhere to. You're not supposed to engage in any kind of corruption or malfeasance, mishandling of information, or the blatant chicanery, or manipulation of your position as a public servant. And I want to remind you that this trial has already went off the rails once, and it was such a fiasco and such a disaster. The district attorney, Linda Stanley, was actually hauled before the Office of Attorney Regulation Council, or whatever it's called. She was disbarred. She was drummed out of office. She took the furniture with her like a thief. Oh my God. She lost her livelihood. She lost her license to practice. I think people are going to be so angry if you don't play it by the straight and narrow, give Barry Morphew a fair trial, give the jury a fair chance to hear the evidence and evaluate, and you give Suzanne Morphew and her family the confidence that you're going after the truth. There's a true bill of indictment, and we want a true and just verdict. And I think if this does not occur, people might want to call the FBI and say, can you do an investigation? Did she take a bribe? Or call the Colorado Bar Association. Has she acted in a way that's not becoming of an officer of the court? Did she violate the morality clause and the ethics clause of being a lawyer, card-carrying lawyer from the Colorado Bar Association? I really don't think you want to have the reputation of being Judge Amanda Stanley or Little Linda Hopkins. And I'm not making any threats or casting any aspersions. I'm just saying the public is going to watch. They're going to get flashbacks maybe from the first derail trial, and maybe you should be careful not to give them reason to doubt your credibility and your integrity and your morality and your commitment to the oath that you took for several to uphold the law. So another thing that we're going to be noticing is if you're going to allow public access to the trial and to the hearings coming up to the trial and to these motions hearings, etc., the fact that you enforce a total blackout, that nobody can scrutinize the trial or observe it, and you'd had a scorched earth policy about limiting information about the court proceedings, which I think is in violation of the Colorado Constitution, it just makes it look more suspicious that you don't want anyone to watch or to scrutinize or to take screenshots or take notes or to report on what's going on. The people have a right to watch a trial, observe the process, and observe the behavior of the people that are entrusted with providing a fair trial to the defendant, a fair trial for the victims, and a fair trial for the public and the taxpayer. So, I think your rulings about the media are going to be telling. Are you in Camp Barry, or are you in favor of enforcing the law and doing things by the book? All of your rulings in the motions hearing starting July 6th, if they heavily favor Barry, that might be a problem. Or if you listen to the state and their objections and rule according to the law and applying the law to the motions instead of having a go Barry, you get everything you want, you can tell me what to do attitude, it's not going to be a good look on you. So I think you should have a come to Jesus moment and evaluate what you've done so far, what you plan to do in the future, and your rulings on the media, the things about the motions, how you're going to structure the trial when it's coming. I think you should make sure that's to the book, applying the law, and to the straight and narrow. That's your job. That's what God wants you to do. That's what the Morphew family wants, and the Mormon family wants, because they lost Suzanne. Everybody wants justice. So I'm going to keep documenting all of these things that I'm saying. And I want everybody to keep checking back on my YouTube channel in the post section. And you can fact check me, you can download documents, you can read definitions, you can read the court filings for yourself. I invite all kinds of open discussion and comment and challenge, as long as it's done respectfully. This trial is too important for it to go the way that it's been going. And I'm imploring you, Judge Hopkins, that you really think, reevaluate what's at stake, and do everything by the book according to the law. Peace, love, and donuts, everybody. This is Rainbow Ramblings. Thank you for stopping by. God bless you, unless you're a crooked, no good Nick and a fixer, and someone with disregard for the law, or who feels they can trample on the rights of the victims and their families. Have a good day.